Franklin Delano Roosevelt stands as a towering figure in American history. He led the nation through two of its greatest crises, the Great Depression and World War II. His leadership, characterized by empathy, pragmatism, and unwavering optimism, left an enduring legacy on American society. Roosevelt's presidency witnessed an unprecedented expansion of federal power and the creation of programs like Social Security. These initiatives aim to alleviate suffering and provide economic security. His leadership transcended domestic boundaries, shaping the post-war world order and solidifying America's place as a global superpower. Roosevelt's life was marked by personal tragedy. In 1921, at the age of 39, he was stricken with polio. This debilitating disease left him partially paralyzed. However, Roosevelt refused to succumb to despair. He approached his condition with characteristic determination, seeking treatment and relentlessly pursuing physical therapy. This personal struggle profoundly shaped his character. It instilled in him a deep empathy for the struggles of others, particularly those facing adversity. Roosevelt's experience with polio would later inform his approach to leadership, fostering a deep connection with ordinary Americans. Roosevelt's battle with polio profoundly shaped his leadership style. Stricken with the disease at the age of 39, he faced immense physical and emotional challenges. Yet, it was through this personal struggle that he developed a unique perspective on suffering and resilience. It instilled in him a deep empathy for the plight of ordinary Americans, especially those struggling during the Depression. He saw firsthand the desperation and hopelessness that many felt, and he was determined to use his position to make a difference. His visits to rural communities and meetings with struggling families were not just political gestures. They were genuine efforts to understand and alleviate their suffering. He understood firsthand the challenges of overcoming adversity and the importance of resilience in the face of hardship. His time at Warm Springs, Georgia, where he sought treatment and rehabilitation, was a testament to his determination. There, he not only worked on his physical recovery, but also connected with others facing similar struggles, further deepening his empathy and resolve. This empathy was evident in his policies and his communication style. The New Deal, a series of programs and reforms, was designed to provide relief, recovery, and reform to a nation in crisis. His ability to listen to advisors, understand the needs of the people, and craft policies that address those needs was a hallmark of his leadership. He spoke directly to the American people through his fireside chats, addressing their fears and offering reassurance. These radio broadcasts were more than just speeches. They were conversations. Roosevelt's warm and approachable manner made people feel heard and understood, fostering a sense of unity and hope during some of the darkest times in American history. Roosevelt's ability to connect with people on a personal level was a key factor in his success as a leader. Whether shaking hands with supporters, attending public events, or visiting communities, he always made an effort to engage with individuals, listen to their stories, and offer words of encouragement. This personal touch, combined with his policies and communication skills, solidified his legacy as a leader who truly cared for his people. Roosevelt's path to the presidency began with his tenure as governor of New York. Elected in 1928, he took office just as the Great Depression began to grip the nation. As governor, Roosevelt implemented innovative programs to provide relief and stimulate the economy. He focused on creating jobs through public works projects and providing direct aid to the unemployed. Roosevelt's actions in New York demonstrated his commitment to social welfare and foreshadowed the policies he would later implement as president. Section 5. The dawn of a New Deal. Roosevelt assumed the presidency in 1933 amidst the depths of the Great Depression. The country was in turmoil, with millions of Americans out of work and countless families struggling to make ends meet. The nation faced an unprecedented economic crisis, with widespread unemployment, bank failures, and a loss of confidence in the government. Bread lines stretched for blocks, and the despair was palpable in every corner of the country. Roosevelt acted swiftly, launching a series of programs known as the New Deal. He believed that bold and immediate action was necessary to pull the nation out of its dire straits. These programs aimed to provide relief, recovery, and reform. Relief efforts were designed to offer immediate support to those in desperate need, ensuring that no one would go hungry or homeless. Relief efforts focused on providing immediate assistance to the unemployed and destitute. Soup kitchens and food distribution centers became lifelines for many, offering a glimmer of hope in dark times. Recovery programs aimed to stimulate economic growth. Massive public works projects were initiated, creating jobs and revitalizing communities. Roads, bridges, and schools were built, laying the foundation for future prosperity. Reform measures sought to address the underlying causes of the Depression. Banking reforms were implemented to restore trust in the financial system, and social security programs were established to provide a safety net for the vulnerable. Roosevelt's New Deal was a transformative period in American history, reshaping the nation's economic landscape and restoring hope to millions. Section 6. Fireside Chats and Public Trust. Roosevelt understood the power of communication in times of crisis. He utilized the relatively new medium of radio to connect directly with the American people through his fireside chats. These informal addresses, delivered from the White House, were a revolutionary approach to presidential communication. In his fireside chats, Roosevelt explained complex issues in simple terms, offered reassurance, and outlined his plans for addressing the nation's challenges. These chats were immensely popular, fostering a sense of intimacy and trust between the president and the public. Section 7. A World at War. As Europe descended into war in the late 1930s, Roosevelt faced the daunting task of preparing a reluctant nation for the possibility of conflict. The world was on the brink of chaos, and the United States, still reeling from the Great Depression, was hesitant to get involved in another overseas war. Roosevelt, however, saw the writing on the wall. He knew that the threats posed by Nazi Germany and Imperial Japan were not just regional issues, but global ones that could eventually reach American shores. He understood the threat posed by Nazi Germany and Imperial Japan, but also recognized the strong isolationist sentiment in the United States. Many Americans were wary of foreign entanglements, haunted by the memories of World War I. Roosevelt had to walk a fine line, balancing the need to prepare for war while respecting the public's desire for peace. He began to slowly shift public opinion through a series of speeches and policies aimed at strengthening national defense. Following the Japanese attack on Pearl Harbor in 1941, the United States entered World War II. The attack was a turning point, shattering any remaining illusions of safety and galvanizing the American public into action. Overnight, the nation transformed from a state of reluctant isolation to one of determined engagement. Roosevelt's leadership during this critical time was instrumental in uniting the country and setting the stage for the massive war effort that was to come. Roosevelt rallied the nation behind the war effort, mobilizing industry, galvanizing public support, and forging a wartime alliance with Great Britain and the Soviet Union. Factories that once produced consumer goods were quickly converted to manufacture tanks, planes, and other war materials. The American workforce, including women and minorities, stepped up to meet the demands of war production. On the diplomatic front, Roosevelt worked tirelessly to build and maintain alliances, understanding that victory would require a united front. His meetings with Winston Churchill and Joseph Stalin were crucial in coordinating the Allied strategy that would eventually lead to the defeat of the Axis powers. Section 8. Shaping the post-war world. Roosevelt played a pivotal role in shaping the post-war world order. He envisioned a world based on international cooperation, collective security, and respect for human rights. He worked closely with British Prime Minister Winston Churchill and Soviet leader Joseph Stalin to lay the groundwork for the United Nations. Roosevelt's vision for the post-war world was also reflected in his support for the Bretton Woods system, which established a new global financial order. These institutions aimed to prevent future conflicts and promote economic stability. Section 9. A Legacy of Leadership. Franklin D. Roosevelt's legacy is complex and multifaceted. He expanded the role of government in American life, championed social welfare programs, and guided the nation through its gravest crises. His leadership style, characterized by empathy, pragmatism, and unwavering optimism, left an enduring mark on American society. Roosevelt's presidency marked a turning point in American history. His New Deal programs laid the foundation for the modern welfare state. His leadership during World War II solidified America's place as a global superpower.